Hello, and welcome to Fixing Management, the podcast that gives actionable guidance on becoming a more effective leader. Today's topic is feedback. We'll see how to effectively give feedback to direct reports. Let's kick off with a quick story. I recently spoke with someone whose company trains its managers to use only the so-called feedback sandwich. If you haven't encountered it, the formula is simple. When you want to give your direct report feedback, start with unrelated positive praise, move to the actual criticism you want to share, and end on another unrelated positive. For example, let's say your direct report was late on a task, and you go, "You have great ideas about improving the way we work, but your attitude toward deadline is concerning. And I appreciate your team spirit." Let's explore why this technique often misses the mark. First, it builds on the assumption that feedback is inherently negative, but the real goal isn't punishment. It's to help people improve, whether by reducing negative behaviors or reinforcing positive ones. Second, it's confusing. Most people leave the conversation remembering only the compliments and not the actions you wanted them to address. In this example, it's the great idea and the team spirit. Third, the positive notes are typically vague and untimely. If you tack on generic praise like team spirit, it can feel forced and doesn't guide them on what to do more of. Additionally, it requires the manager to come up with two positive feedbacks, which reduces the likelihood of giving any feedback at all because of the time and effort it requires. Fourth, the criticism itself might be abstract, referring to attitude which is hard to measure or act on. What does this attitude regarding deadlines even mean? Fifth, the little word "but" signals the listener to discount whatever came before. You have great ideas, but giving feedback is a profound obligation of a manager. The sandwich method hopes to deliver feedback without harming the relationship and selfishly and emotionally protect the manager by also mentioning positive things. In practice, this often falls flat. Behavior rarely changes and people stay in the dark, some not even realizing they've just received feedback. So what's a better way? I strongly recommend the Manager Tools feedback model. It's simple, powerful, and backed by decades of use across industries and cultures. Here's how it works. First, always ask, "Can I give you some feedback?" This ensures the person is ready to receive it. If they're anxious or distracted, the conversation won't land. Then deliver the feedback using the formula. When you do X, Y happens. Can you do better next time? Or, if it's positive, when you do X, it causes Y. Keep it up. Let's reshape our earlier example. "Can I share some feedback with you?" "Sure. When you're late on a task and don't let me know, I have to follow up until it's finished and I'm not sure if you need help. Can you do better next time?" Notice how direct it is. There's no need for extended analysis or awkward dialogue. The message is short, specific, and unlikely to be misinterpreted. If it feels transactional or blunt to you, that's why building trust and rapport in regular one-on-ones is crucial before giving feedback. Effective feedback, positive or negative, should be delivered soon after the event, about a specific behavior and its impact, brief and clear. How to start? Watch for specific behaviors. A good test is whether someone uninvolved would understand exactly what happened. For example, instead of "you were rude," say "you interrupted colleagues 5 times without letting them finish." Practice saying feedback out loud using the formula. Begin by giving positive feedback only for a few weeks to build ease and trust. Progress to negative feedback and always keep it focused and timely. Never sandwich it. Do not mix positive and negative in the same message. That's it for today. Thanks for listening and keep fixing management.